Hello everyone, I'm Justin Russell. For those of you who do know me, most of you would probably know me more as Bonk the Clown. But this video is not about me. This video is about an inspiration on me as a comedian and as an actor. A man who I literally have looked up to ever since I've known who he was. For those of you who don't know, the man that I'm talking about is Robin Williams. For those of you who also don't know, Robin Williams has died at the age of 63, which is the title of this video, Robin Williams dead at 63. This will be a tribute video to Robin Williams, but let me start off with saying, for those of you who don't know, Robin Williams, as of yesterday, which is August 11th, 2014, was found dead in his house from asphyxiation. The police believe it was a suicide, and he was suffering from bouts of depression, which is why it's plausible that he did commit suicide. Also, for those of you who literally do not know who Robin Williams is, let me refresh your memory. Robin Williams, whenever he was a little kid, his parents were off working constantly. They didn't have enough time for him, so whenever he was young, he watched people on TV whenever he was alone with his maid who was watching him, and he would do impressions of these people, and he became a really good impressionist, which caused him to get into the comedy and all that stuff. And he was a well-known stand-up comedian. He was born July 21st, 1951, and he started off as a stand-up comedian, but it wasn't until he was featured in an episode of Happy Days as Bonk.
The pause that refreshes.
You drank that with your finger.
Yes, how do you drink?
With my mouth?
Well, how do you talk and drink at the same time? Must be Drool City.
As for films, he started off with films like 1980s live-action adaptation of Popeye, and then did films like A World According to Garp, and finally came into prominence with Moscow on the Hudson. He then went on to do films like Good Morning Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam!
And had a small part as the King of the Moon in The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. He also did Dead Poets Society, which garnered him an Academy Award his first time around. He was nominated for Best Actor. He was also in films like Cadillac Man and Awakenings, and earned a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in the movie The Fisher King. He later portrayed Peter Pan in Hook, and was also featured prominently in toys. His first chance as a Disney star was in the movie Aladdin, where he voiced the genie. After disputes with Disney over the distribution of Aladdin, with marketing towards genie only, mostly, he had a dispute and didn't want to come back to the company for that, and instead, whenever Aladdin 2 came out, he wasn't in it as the genie.
Alright, Sparky, here's the deal. If you want to court the little lady, you gotta be a straight shooter. Do you got it?
He was also featured in 1992 as well in the animated film Fern Gully: The Last Rainforest. He became even more sensational in his films like Mrs. Doubtfire and Jumanji. He then returned to the Aladdin franchise in the third film, Aladdin the King of Thieves, where he again portrayed the genie.
Jeannie dear, Jeannie knows. You've got to get your mind off this incessant waiting.
He also ended up in the live-action adaptation of Hamlet, and also in 1996 was a part of the film Jack. He's also featured in The Birdcage and became an Academy Award winner as Best Supporting Actor in the movie Good Will Hunting. He then portrayed a professor in Flubber, and he was the character Patch Adams in the adaptation of Patch Adams' real life based off the guy Patch Adams. Even though it's not a faithful adaptation, he was in it. He then portrayed a character in Bicentennial Man. He then turned to a very dramatic role as a psychopath named Walter Finch in the movie Insomnia, opposite of Al Pacino. Again that year, he also portrayed former kids TV show guy Rainbow Randolph Smiley in Death to Smoochie.
Trust me, Randolph.
Oh, no. Do not start with your magician's tricks, young Moses. I am Pharaoh, and you are my slave. And this is my kingdom.
He was also in films like The Final Cut and Robots, where he portrayed Fender. He was also in The Man of the Year as Tom Dodd. Then he portrayed a character opposite to John Travolta in the movie Old Dogs, and in recent years was a part of a TV show opposite of Sarah Michelle Gellar called The Crazy Ones. So those of you who don't know who Robin Williams is, never even heard of him, or for those of you who do know who Robin Williams is, either way, check him out. He's really good. He was a really good comedian, a really good talent, and he will sorely be missed. He's also one of my biggest influences when talking about comedy. I enjoy everything he's ever done. He was a huge influence on me, and the world is deeply sad. In fact, we have lost a genius of epic proportions.
While Michael is protesting.
I don't know, baby. It was strange enough when Michael was the best man at Liza's wedding. That, for me, it was like, you're pushing the term, my man. That was a pretty short list. Who, was Richard Simmons hunting? What happened? What were you doing?
I'm the best man.
But now, Michael is claiming racism. I'm going, honey, you gotta pick a race first.